Nate the Great and the Big Sniff. Chapter 1. The Long Wait. My name is Nate the Great. I am a detective. My dog Sludge is a detective too. Today I had my biggest case ever. But Sludge couldn't help me, because looking for Sludge was the case. Sludge was missing, lost, gone. I have to find him. This morning, Sludge and I went out to shop. We went to my favorite store, Wayman Brothers. Sludge isn't allowed in stores. I go in and Sludge waits outside. Sludge is good at waiting. He likes to watch people go by. He always finds a few he likes to sniff. I am going to buy one thing, I said to Sludge. I will be right back. Sludge wagged his tail and sat down. I walked into the store. I was looking for a present for Sludge. I went straight to the pet department. I found a nice dog board and a long line of people. They were all waiting to buy things. I went to the end of the line. Then I Nate the Great counted. I was waiter number 21. I could grow old waiting in this line. The season could change. The world could change. Pancakes could disappear. And Sludge would still be waiting. I put down the board. I walked away. I went outside. Sludge was gone. Chapter 2. Sleepy, Sloppy Dog. I looked for Sludge. I saw big puddles. The air smelled of rain. Sludge! I called. Woof! I heard the dogs bark. I turned around. Annie and her dog Fang were standing there. Fang is big and scary. Today, his teeth were wet and gleaming. Are you looking for Sludge? Annie asked. I saw him sitting out here. It started to rain. Sludge got wet and drippy and sloppy. He moved closer to the store. So where is he? I asked. Annie pointed. He sat down on the thing that opens the store door, she said. The door opened. Sludge looked surprised. He walked into the store. He walked in? I asked. Then what? Sludge shook himself off. He sat down and waited. For you, I guess. A sale lady came over with a towel. She started to wipe him off. Then another sales lady yelled at him. You're not a shopper. You had no money. Leave. She grabbed Sludge, but he slipped away. You sleepy, sloppy dog. She yelled after him. Then what happened? I asked. Sludge ran into the hat department. I couldn't see him anymore, so Fang and I went after him. But the mean lady stopped us. She looked at Fang and said, Too many teeth, bad breath, and no money. Out! Then what? Fang growled at her. She screamed and stepped back. I took Fang outside. A minute later, you came along. You missed Sludge. I must go to the hat department. I said, Fang and I will wait here. And he said, in case Sludge comes back outside, he'd have to pass that lady. I said, sometimes Sludge is brave, but not that brave. Where Fang is, he can go back in and get Sludge past the lady. He and I will guard the door. If we get Sludge, we will find you. Chapter 3. Hats and Underwear. I, Nate the Great, rushed back into the store, and he called after me. Don't forget, Sludge looks sleepy, sloppy. It could be a clue. I went to the hat department. There were hats of every size and shape, but I did not see Sludge. I looked for wet paw prints. Perhaps there was a trail. Nothing. I went up to a salesman. There was a wet dog, I began. The man pointed to the left. That way, he said. I rushed to the underwear department. No Sludge. Could he be hiding from the mean lady? But where could he hide? I saw a sign, dressing rooms. I did not want to peek into those rooms. I did not want to look at underwear with anyone inside it. But I had to find Sludge. I went to the dressing rooms. Sludge! I called. Somebody picked out from a dressing room. Somebody who looked strange, very strange. It was Rosamond. She was wearing a nice shirt that had meow printed across the front. It was much too small for her. I'm shopping, she said. This is for my cat Big X. I buy all my cat's clothes here. Have you seen Sludge? I asked. Yes, she said. I saw him run in and out of this department. I don't blame him. There's not a thing here for dogs. Thank you for that information, I said. I left. Where could Sludge have gone? Chapter 4. Lost my best friend. I needed clothes. I needed pancakes. I always eat pancakes when I can't solve a case. They help me think. I knew there was a cafeteria at the back of the store. They serve great pancakes. But I did not want to go there. I was not hungry. I was sad. I was thinking about Sludge. How I had first met him in a field. How he had become my dog and my best friend. And now he was lost. I went to a payphone. I called home. The answering machine came on. I left a message for my mother. I hung up. Where should I look next? In this big store, who would know where Sludge might be? Of course, I made a great rush to the lost and found department. Chapter 5. On the run. I saw somebody I knew. It was not Sludge. It was Claude. Claude spends a big part of his life in Lost and Found. The lost part. Claude is always losing things. I went up to him. I had lost Sludge, I said. I saw him, Claude said. Where? At your house on Sunday, Claude said. He wasn't lost then, I said. All right, Claude said. Claude pointed to a man sitting at a desk. He knows what's lost and what's found. Talk to him. I rushed over to the man. I said, I, Nate the Great, have lost my dog Sludge in this store. Oh, the dog, the man said. We know about him. He's been spotted all over the places. Nobody who sees him will ever forget him. I'll tell you that, but we can't catch him. He just runs and runs. I haven't had a report for 5 minutes. He could be anywhere. Runs and runs, I said. What? The man asked. A clue, I said. I walked away. Chapter 6. The Tip of a Tail. Sludge could be tired by now, I thought. Nobody had seen him run for 5 minutes. I rushed to the bed department. It was full of beds, a great place to rest. I looked on the beds and under them. I looked for dog hairs and paw prints, and a dog. Suddenly, I saw what looked like the tip of a tail. It was under a bed. Was I dreaming? Was I hoping too hard? I got closer. It was a dog's tail, and it was attached to Fang. Fang crawled out from under the bed. Annie came running. There you are, Fang, she yelled. What's Fang doing in the store? I asked. I thought I saw Sludge, Annie said, so I ran inside. Fang followed me. You saw Sludge? I asked. No, it was a mistake. It was a wet mop. But don't worry, I left the door guarded. Rosamond came along. She's standing there with a big whistle. A whistle? Yes, she said every girl should have one. I sat down on a bed. So Fang is the dog who's been running around the store, I said, and scaring the customers. Annie said, Nate the Great, was sunk. I should have guessed that the running dog was Fang. The man said that nobody who saw him would ever forget him. I should have known that was a clue. The kind of clue I did not want to hear. Chapter 7. Think Like a Dog. Annie and Fang left. Nate the Great, lay down on the bed. I was tired. I had used my feet too much, and my head too little. I had to think. Where would the dog go in this store? Suddenly, I had the answer. Kibbles, leashes, bars, doghouses, bones, where the good stuff was. I rushed back to the pet department. I counted 11 people still in line, but Sludge wasn't one of them. I went to the dog food. No Sludge. I went to the dog toys. No Sludge. I went to the dog houses. Maybe Sludge would be asleep inside. I looked in every one of them. No Sludge. Maybe Sludge had been here and left. I walked up to the head of the line. "Excuse me," I said to the man behind the counter. "I am in a hurry. I am on a big case. I am looking for a wet dog, a sleepy, sloppy dog." "A sleepy, sloppy dog," he said, "and it has a tail, right?" I nodded. "Fur? Of course. And it barks?" "Yes." The man chuckled. "Nice try," he said, "but if you want to buy something, you have to go to the end of the line. I remember you when you were number 21. I, Nate the Great, walked away. I sat down on a dog mat. This was my most important case, and I could not solve it. Sludge always helped me with my cases, but now he was the case. He could not help me, or could he? Sludge was a great detective. Was he trying to find me? Was he sniffing all over the store? No. He was afraid the mean lady would get him. He had to hide, but he had to find me too. How could he do both things? Suddenly, I, Nate the Great, had the answer. Suddenly, I knew where Sludge had to be. Chapter 8. A Flower Trail. I rushed to the back of the store, to the cafeteria, where the pancakes are. People were sitting and eating. There was a room behind the cafeteria. There was a trail of flour going in and out of the room. It was a trail of white paw prints. The door of the room was part way open. I looked around. No one was watching me. I crept into the room. It was a storeroom. There were boxes and cans and jars and sacks. Sitting on a torn sack of flour was Sludge. He was sniffing. He rushed toward me. He gave me a big sniff. Then he wagged his tail and licked me all over. "Sludge, you are a great detective," I said. "You knew I had a case to solve. You knew I always eat pancakes to help solve a case. So you sniffed out this pancake place and you sat and waited. You knew you could sniff me from your hiding place when I showed up. And that's what you did." Sludge looked proud. This had been his biggest case too. I looked at the trail of flower paw prints. Did Sludge leave it on purpose? Or did it just happen to happen? I would never know. But I didn't care. I only cared that I had found Sludge. Or he had found me. Whatever. I said, "We both deserve a treat. Wait here." I went back to the cafeteria. "5 pancakes to go," I said, "and a bone." I, Nate the Great, and Sludge sat on the torn sacks of flour and ate the best meal we had ever had. The end.